It is pretty interesting how rewatching the Assassin's Creed Valhalla trailers can lead to even more little things that we missed the first time around. So in this video I want to take an even closer look at the Assassin's Creed Valhalla teaser trailer and the cinematic trailer, and also include new info that we learned recently as well. So as always, a like on the video would be super appreciated. And let's go. Yeah, there's still time to participate in my May giveaway for a 2020 game of your choice. Follow the link in the pinned comment for a chance to win, and be sure you are a subscriber of the channel before you enter. I will reach out to the winner in early June via the email, so good luck. One of the abilities we can do in Assassin's Creed Valhalla is feign death, so pretend that we are deaf and then strike. It's a stealth ability, but maybe we can also use it during combat. I had Key reach out to me on Twitter with this interesting theory how at the end of the trailer we saw Eivor stumble and then pretend he is defeated to then surprise the ringleader enemy with a blade to the eye. I thought it was an interesting theory for sure, and we know many parts of this fight actually make sense with the gameplay that we can expect in the game. Like Eivor grabs an extra weapon here to highlight the dual wield system, and also sticks that sword in the legs of the enemy to deal more damage, and we know that a similar weak point system will be in the game. But we also see Eivor's weapon break, and then this part might hint at weapon durability, so that after using a weapon for a long time it can break. But I don't think we will then lose the weapon for good, because every item is unique, so that means that there's only one version of each item, but maybe we then have to repair it at the blacksmith in our settlement, so then we cannot use our best and maybe favorite weapon for the time being, and it will push us to change our loadout. We can upgrade every item and use it till the end of the game, but maybe with a system like this, it would also mean that we have to try out other things and have powerful weapons as a backup. And I would actually be fine with a system like this. Like in the previous games, you always had like one best weapon, so we're using that. And in Odyssey, you had two best weapons for your build, so you were just using that. And with a system like this, it would also create an incentive to upgrade the similar but less powerful weapons to use them when the other one breaks. Thanks to Dominic Mastro, who reached out about this via the input@JorRaptor.com email address, just like you can, of course, if you found some interesting things or theories. We also have Muntasar, and I hope I pronounced that right, who reached out via this email address, saying that we might be able to pay respect to our fallen raid party members. Like we saw in Brotherhood as well, where if one of your assassin buddies got killed, you could go to them and honor them, throw them in a haystack, as we see in this video from Ken10. I will link to that video, by the way, in the description. Now, but we see Eivor actually do something similar when his Viking friend dies thanks to a spear in his body. He grabs his hands, pays his respects, and we already know that our raid party members do not have permadeath, but maybe when they die in battle when you're out in a raid, they will return to your settlement or something. But before that happens, there's a way for you to pay respect to them. I think it's a great theory, and it might be the reason why they actually spent quite a lot of time on this during the cinematic trailer. Like, overall, it doesn't really make sense to, in the middle of a battlefield, when you're surrounded by enemies, to go to your fallen Viking buddy and take a moment to say, "Hey man, it was an honor to fight alongside you." Unless it's like a tease to a feature we see in the game as well. And when Eivor is paying his respects, we also see the hidden blade here again, and we know that Eivor will get it early in the game. And I think the theory that Eivor meets the hidden ones that give this blade to him in Norway already before leaving to England makes even more sense if you look very closely to the trailers. In the cinematic trailer, we already see the hidden blade on his wrist when he set sail to England for the first time, and we also see the blood still on his head that the Viking-like shaman puts on his head when he's about to leave for England. But actually also in the teaser trailer, when he holds the torch and we focus on the tattoos, we see that he has the blade already too. Shady, the co-founder of the Assassin's Creed Egypt page, and you will find a link to that in the video description, notes that in the scene in the big hall in Norway, we see two characters on the beam discussing things, and one of them has an Arabian hat, indicating that indeed Arabs are in Norway at the start of the game. Ashraf already confirmed that Vikings and Arabs had connections in the 9th century, so the time that the game takes place. But these connections could be heavily explored in Valhalla. Milan noted on Twitter that in the boss logic image, we could actually see an Arabic soldier as well from the looks of it. I don't think that Vikings will introduce Eivor to the battle between the Assassins and the Templars, or the Hidden Ones and the Order of the Ancients in this time period. So it is likely a force from outside. Like, why are these two characters talking on the beam away from everyone else? Overall, we know that Eivor will actually get the weapon from the Hidden Ones early in the game. He will be a third party first, looking into this conflict, but then later will have an impact on it that will be critical and important. And we also know that the Hidden Ones will teach Eivor stealth skills, like killing enemies in one hit with a hidden blade. And more about the origins of Eivor's hidden blade in a second. First, we got Bamba in the comments noting how Eivor holds the bow in the right hand and how this might mean that Eivor is left-handed. A very nice catch, and that will likely mean that the ranged combat will feel a little different compared to the previous games. And we already touched on the rope dart in a previous video, but we actually also see it in the teaser trailer. And it was actually confirmed that Valhalla will have a new tool window, thanks to Kotaku, where you can select likely this weapon to either maybe climb walls or forts, or hopefully to take out enemies in cool ways, as we saw in Tree and Black Flag, and as we see Epilogue Gaming do here. And a full link to his video is in the video description. In the cinematic trailer, we of course see Alfred the Great, the King of Wessex, fighting back the Viking invasion, and in history he was the only one to withstand them, while everyone else fell. And in the cinematic trailer, he looks like your typical villain, right? Sending his lieutenant out there to kill you, but he is way more nuanced in the game. It would be wrong to say that he is the central antagonist of the game. That identity I want to leave for later. I want people to discover that. It's a fast and sprawling game with a lot of different layers, and each of those layers will have a different conflict. And that's what the narrative director Darby said to GameSpot, and I would not be surprised if he's talking here about the historical conflict that takes place, while there's also this fight between the Assassins and the Templars, of course, happening. And many people pointed out, and rightfully so, that King Alfred has the Templar icons on his clothes and on his crown as well, so he is likely connected to the Order of the Ancients. So apart from being this king that is against the Danes, he also got this extra layer where we will likely have to fight him if we indeed choose to help the Hidden Ones. Because that is kind of interesting. What if in this game we can actually choose to fight the Assassins and join the Templars instead? And of course, a big one is this Odin or maybe a hidden one? Actually, quite a lot of people think that it's a throwback to the Assassin's Creed Revelation cinematic, where we saw Altair appear during battle. Is this maybe Ezio that we see in Valhalla? I don't know, man, but I would not be surprised if there was way more behind this vision. Just like behind Eivor's hidden blade, and Ashraf actually teases this as well in the Washington Post interview.
You mentioned the hidden blade and I guess the gems. Here, I mean, there's some clues as to let's say the whereabouts of where that blade comes from. So that's a little hint for people.
He then later clarified on Twitter that he's talking about the overall design of the hidden blade and not specifically the gems. And I got reached out by True Gaming with a theory on how this might be the hidden blade that Aya is using at the end of Origins. Although it would of course be a modified version then, but there are also other things that I'm wondering about. But his theory is that when Aya is getting ready for the assassination, we actually see the blade briefly and it has kind of the same golden touches. And Cleopatra was seen with a green agate on her crown, and that could be similar to the gems that Eivor is using. But let's not forget that Layla found Aya's hidden blade in the modern day section, so that makes this theory less likely. I still think though that Eivor will get the hidden blade already in Norway, and likely from Arabs who are already spotted in Norway. So where that blade is coming from, I think that will be an interesting mystery. And of course, if you got theories, they are more than welcome. Again, input@JorRaptor.com or the comments of this video. We also got a new video from Darby on Twitter that I will link to in the video description. He basically talks about how they came up with the idea for Eivor and how if you make choices, it would be something that Eivor has said. Again, I will put a link to it in the video description if you want to check it out. A like on this video would be super appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe. I will keep you up to date on everything Assassin's Creed Valhalla and got more videos coming your way. And don't check out my most recent Valhalla video on the settlement and how that feature is going to be super important, likely more important than you think right now. For now, I will speak to you next time and goodbye.